You're watching West Hartford Community Television.
You're watching West Hartford Community Television.
For the community, by the community.
Hi, welcome to Champion Chinese. Today, we are going to champion the Chinese language together. Before I start, I wonder if you remember this story, The King's New Wardrobe. I think we all know that this king loved to wear beautiful clothes, and everybody tried to please him, and he is very picky. So people are very afraid, and they don't know how to please him. So here comes a guy, a tailor, and he said, I'm going to make the most beautiful clothes for the king. And only the smart people can see and can enjoy and can appreciate the fabric that I made and the clothes I made. So here comes the person was in a room for days, months, and years. And the king is very impatient, and he came to see, and nobody can show him the fabric. And he say, where is the fabric, and where is my clothes? And then his servant also come to see, and nobody dared to say anything, because the tailor say, remember, only the smart, very educated and wise people can see it. However, they put on the invisible clothes on the king, and the king doesn't want to admit he is not wise enough, so he has to take it as it is. And all the people around him just compliment him and praise him. And although everybody knows the king is not wearing anything, everybody just say, oh, how beautiful, how gorgeous, and how glory you look like. And here comes the joke for all of us. And why do I remind you about this story? Because here I am, I'm going to tell you a very, very interesting story. And it's a story about the Chinese language. And yes, only the wise, very wise people can appreciate the beauty and the value of this only surviving ancient language, written script. So let's see if you are the wise person. But this wise person is definitely not the same as those white people in this story, okay? What I'm talking about is the real wise people, and with compassion about history and civilization. And so I want to show you stone that I got from the British Museum. This is Rosetta Stone. Because this stone, Napoleon's soldier found this stone. Because of this stone, well, this is a copy, of course, and because of this stone, decode the ancient history of Egypt, because nobody understand anything about Egypt until this stone was found and all the language has been decoded. This is the top is ancient hieroglyphic, is a pictographic script from ancient Egypt. And those two are, this is the ancient Greek, and this is the Greek spoken at that time. So those are the transcript, and through this tiny little stone, we understand a lot of history and civilization about Egypt. But there are still a lot of mysteries about Egypt that we don't know. For example, how they built the pyramid, and what is the purpose of all those secret tunnels, and all those mystics are still uncovered. But do you know China has 5,000 years of history, and for about 3,000 years, everything about China's wisdom, about China's culture has been recorded in traditional Chinese script. Here I'm going to tell you about how important the Chinese script to Chinese people. Chinese people respect and value their characters. The characters, what I'm talking about now, is the traditional Chinese script, which has been passed down to the Chinese people for about 2,000 years, about 1,700 years. And hardly any change, because it takes thousands of years for people to refine this language system. So the language we are talking about, the traditional script, is the traditional classic Chinese script that is still used by the world's elite intellect, and people from Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Macau, and I think the classic Japanese, Korean, and Southeast Asia country. So they respect their character like their ancestor, like their parents, grandparents. And they even feel this is the medium that transfer all the Chinese wisdom and civilization, all the valuable culture to their future generations. So this is very cute. This is the chimney, this is the roof, and here comes the child. Look at the child. This is the pictograph of a child. This character means character. So this is character. So what you see here has the idea. So you have the chimney, you have the roof, you have the child. Okay? So the character is like you want to keep, you want to raise your child, protect your character very carefully. So this is how Chinese value their character. And Chinese character has three very fundamental elements that I think that's the make the language, the script, very scientific and logical. And this is, I think that's the reason keep it survive forever. So it's a pictographic. So you see the child, right? And this is ideographic. So you value the character like you cherish your child. And it's a phonetic. So 字 sounds like character, but 子 is child. 子 is son. Okay? So Chinese character is composed by different parts. It's not like a digital alphabetic communication letters. So it has different meaning. It's a tonal language. You have major, you have different parts, and can indicate is idea, sound, or meaning. And the alphabetic language is like English. This is a digital communication. So our character is composed by all those. And the alphabetic language is composed by word, 4 characters. So I would like to explain to you why Chinese is very easy to learn. Because basically, let me review it. Because it's a pictographic language, it's an idea. It's an ideographic language, and you also have phonetic part to help you to sound the character out. And this is why it's very, very easy. Because you don't have to just remember the character from nowhere. You have to put certain letters together and there's no clue to help you why they have to be together. So for example, this is a beauty, beautiful. So Chinese love lamb. So any character you have lamb, that is a good meaning word. So this beauty is composed by a lamb and big. So a lamb is big, that means beautiful. Why this is a lamb? It's easy. So how many horns does a lamb have? 2, right? So 1 horn, 2 horns. And how many ribs does a lamb have? I guess we don't know. So 3 means many. So we have 3 lines here and 1 spine. So this is actually a pictograph of lamb. And this is big. Why this is big? Imagine if you are a person. You are a person. So you have 2 legs, right? And then you extend your body as big as you can. And you can easily create big. So when the lamb is big, that is beautiful, beauty, okay? And Chinese Confucius say, a gentleman helps other people succeed in performance of good deed. And he doesn't help those people succeed in the performance of bad deeds. So a petty man do exactly the opposite. So we want to help good people to accomplish good deed. That is a beauty. And what is virtue? What is kindness? Here you see the lamb, right? And this basically you see 2 hands here. So what is that means? The kindness equals the lamb. So you have 2 hands. 2 hands. You celebrate the lamb, and your mouth celebrate this lamb. That is a kindness. Okay, so you have idea, you have picture, and then you have logic, right? So this is why Chinese has these 3 components and make you feel very easy. So, and here I want to explain to you about the characters. Right now, we are talking about why most of the people think Chinese is a difficult language. Because nowadays we have 2 kinds of language, 2 kinds of script that we are using. One is traditional, one is simplified. I have said that the traditional script has been studied for about 1,700 years. And the simplified is made to use by about 1956. So this is the whole China's history is written in the script. And this one is, that's before. And the simplified is created by the People's Republic of China. And most of the traditional Chinese script is annotated using Bopema. Bopema 37 traditional phonetic sounding symbol is also called Zhuyin. And the simplified is annotated using pinyin. So Bopema is created about 1913. Pinyin is created about 1931. So this is created by Republic of China, and this is created by the People's Republic of China. Okay, so right now we have two kinds of characters that are used. And I would like to demonstrate why traditional script, when you learn the traditional script, basically you can read classic Japanese, classic Korean, classic inscript from Southeast Asia country, and you can understand through those traditional script, you can go back and read about 5,000 years ancient Chinese wisdom. So, in simplified pinyin, lots of time it looks simple. It looks less stroke, but you will decide it if it's easy to learn. So here I am introducing you dragon. So dragon for Chinese is a very, very lucky symbol for Chinese people. And here you come. This is traditional, this is simplified. And many people might say, oh, simplified is easier. So now a lot of people will say, well, let me ask you, if you have to copy this dragon from memory, how many times you have to write so that you can remember this? Maybe 50 times, 100 times? And how about this? So we have a guest here. Let me ask our guest. So, Isaiah, which character do you think is easier?
The traditional?
Because you already learned this, right?
Because I've learned it.
Yeah, you have learned this. Yeah. And can you write this character for our friends?
Yeah.
Yeah, you write this. Okay.
You want me to hold
Yeah.
this?
Yeah. Eyelash, eyelid, yeah. Good. That's the mouth.
Is it 3?
No, you don't want to close it, right?
No.
Yeah. Okay, the horn, like a cross. Beautiful. Spikes. You haven't written this in a week.
It's longer than a week.
How
like a
about
month.
here? Longer than a week.
It's,
But
it's a month.
how many times have you written this actually?
I've written that about 6 times.
6 times?
About 6 times.
Okay, just like many.
About a month ago.
A month ago, we
took
learned?
calligraphy, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a month ago, right? Yeah. And you written about 6 times, and you remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you remember the simplified one anyway?
No.
You still don't remember?
No.
Okay. But it looks easier, isn't it? It looks less stroke.
Yeah, at first it did.
Yeah, less stroke. But let's see why it is easier. Okay. This is eyelash, eyelid. Can we continue? No? We have to stop?
No. Keep going.
Okay. So this is eyelid, right? And this is eyelid. Oh no, eyelash, eyelid, pupil. This is the mouth facing down, and it's open, right? so that you can eat. Upper teeth, bottom teeth. And now here comes the horn, almost like a cross, but one side. This is actually the antelope of the deer. And this is the skull for the dragon. The spikes, the body, very long. And 3 means many. We have learned that. Okay, so this is a dragon. It's a picture, isn't it? But the simplified dragon, it's interesting. We were talking about, this is a people, right? And this is a big. Now, the dog say, I'm big too. And that's the tail. So this is actually a dog. And if this is a person, that's upside down person, this means change. And here comes the simplified dragon. Okay? I don't know if you knows how to translate this. This is a change, this is dog, and this is dragon. So is that means the dragon is transferred from the dog? Okay, so we were talking about the traditional script is always annotated by 37 traditional phonetic sounding symbols. And simplified characters is usually annotated in Hanyu Pinyin. And Pinyin is based on Russian phonics and Latin alphabet. Also, they use those to create a annotating system to help people pronounce the word. And however, many people start using everything using the letters to write the Chinese language. And 37, why I say Chinese is easy because we have the 3 elements, remember? So pictographic, ideographic, and phonetic. And there is another secret weapon, that is the 37 traditional bopema or zhuyin sounding symbols. And this usually takes 55 hours, classroom hours to teach, and takes 1 year to purify in the elementary school in Taiwan. However, I have shortened the learning time and acquiring time into about 2 to 5 hours. And here we have a guest to tell you how fast he actually learned and memorized those. So those b, like this is the first sounding symbol. So this symbol is derived from this character called in seal or to wrap. And from this character, if you know this and you understand, everything has this character means conceal. Okay, so if the plant is concealed, that means a flower bud. And if you use hand to conceal, that is to embrace. If you use water to conceal, that is to soak in the water. Okay, so when you learn this, you can learn a lot of Chinese characters in a very short period of time. And let's ask Isaiah how fast he has learned those symbols. Isaiah, can you introduce yourself to our
My name's Isaiah Hutcheon, and this is Mrs. Champion. She's my Chinese teacher, and the thing that Mrs. Champion is teaching this language in the traditional way that Chinese is spoken has immense value, and I think it has great importance to the world, and people need to really take the time to understand. Yes, it's a lot of information because it's an entirely new language, but she's taken 55 hours of classroom time that students will need in China and shortened it to about 2 to 3 hours, which I learned the 37 symbols, which she just said takes 55 hours, and then a year to perfect I learned in 3 hours, and now I'm going to use that to continue to learn Chinese. And she just created this process that makes it so much more simple for people to learn Chinese. On top of that, I would like to add that by doing this, when you're learning a new language and Chinese isn't your first language, both the characters are both going to look complex. You're not going to know which one. So to me, it's more important to memorize the right way to do it or the more traditional way to do it, and then learn the newer way, the new modern way, before you just let a whole culture go aside.
Thank you, thank you. And Isaiah is a very unique young man. He's very interested in Chinese culture, and he played Qigong, he played Tai Chi, and he has a big goal to do some good things for America, for the world. So I want to help him to acquire this language in a very pleasant and efficient way. And I hope I can also do the same thing for you. I have been doing this for about 20 years. And I have working as a volunteer at many public and private schools. And for West Hartford Continuing Education, this is going to be the 10th year that I have donated my program. And I hope that by doing so, I can reach to more people. We would learn both. We will learn both. So we will learn the traditional script, and then through the traditional sounding symbols. So we will be equipped the tools to independently to do research or to learn 5,000 years Chinese valuable heritage and civilization. And we will also learn simplify characters and pinyin so that we can use the tools to communicate with the people from mainland China, because we do have a lot of people there. 20% of the world's people using this language. So here I'm going to do a more series about this language and with you, and gradually you will know that how to acquire this language happily and very effectively. And don't forget this story, because when it's a new idea, when it's a system that is already established, and then we want to bring back, find out the true value of the language, it's a little bit difficult for people to accept or to understand. But we need to be patient, because Chinese is very, very easy and very logical, and we will again champion the Chinese language together. And see you. 再见。